was built to last with the limbs and the weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the On the Mic with Mike podcast series. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and of course, joining me tonight, you can check her doing her thing on Sessions Wrestling. You can check her doing her own thing with her content creation, model, and just a very multifaceted, amazing human being, the one, the only goddess herself, Miss Kendra Allure. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. First and foremost, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. For those who have not checked out Kendra, we see it through your imagery. We see it through your videos. You've been doing a lot of great work, and it surely does show within your sensuality and your overall being, Kendra. You've been doing a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm enjoying myself while doing it, but yeah, I'm trying.
Absolutely. And I think that's the best part of what we get to see here in adult entertainment or Sessions Wrestling and everything. Every facet of life is an art form. And to this art form that we have here, I got to ask you, Kendra, so for where you are doing your things with Sessions now, and where you're doing within your content, what kind of gravitated you towards the world of Sessions Wrestling and content creation? Because we get to see not only a lot of elements to you and your personality and your volume turned up, but what got you really into this field and what kind of gravitated you towards it?
Well, I always tell this story. It's when I moved to Florida. That's when I got introduced to the real fetish side of wrestling. I moved out there. I've been vanilla modeling most of my life, so I'm on sites and stuff, I guess. So, yeah, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy hit me up and was just like, Kendra, I teach. I want you to come and wrestle my guys on camera. And I'm like, I don't have any experience. He's like, doesn't matter. And it just went from there. I mean, I've always been interested in like pro wrestling, like WWE and stuff like that. And I kind of saw the fetishism in it, but I didn't know it was like this, like what I do now. But yeah, I just gravitated toward it because when I moved out to Florida, I was reached out and I was like, oh, let's see. And I just had fun and stuck with it.
I think that's the beautiful thing about life in itself, just fun and everything that really opens the doors and opportunities to where we go in this thing called life. But also, I like your style too. When you look at WWE, and WWE has had many facets of generations and generations. Mm-hmm. It's the storytelling aspect. It's like with women, we have beautiful women wrestling. I mean, back in the days, we had the bikini contests and the bra and panties. So you get to see the sensuality side, but you also get to see beautiful, strong kick butt women. Look at China, God rest her soul, from where she was. The Trish Stratus is still doing her thing. Like there's so many different elements of what we get to see in the pro wrestling realm, and we showcase the sensuality side, but also straight sides of what we get to see on the fetish side of things.
Right.
And I look at it from this with what you're doing as well. First and foremost, let's put this into the forefront. I have gotten to see a lot of the great content that you get to have great synergy with. We got to give a shout out to Paris Love, because my goodness gracious, every time y'all are on camera, I love it just for the fact that you two have great chemistry, but also number two, we have two amazing women. And Paris is no slouch in her own. My goodness gracious, her abilities are just absolutely tremendous and spectacular. Talk about working with Paris.
Oh my gosh, I love working with Paris. I've been working with her pretty much since I started in Orlando. And I mean, she's got the slim build, but she is so strong. Like I tell everybody that whenever it comes down to me and her wrestling, or they want us to wrestle or something, and I'm just like, oh my God. And they're like, what's wrong? I'm just like, Paris is strong. Y'all have no idea how strong she actually is. It's crazy. But no, she's a great person, great personality, very sweet. Like I love Paris. Even when we see each other, like we hang out outside of work. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so fun. Like she's just a great person.
That's the thing. It's this industry brings people not only from the network side of things, but I think what's great about too of what we see in life and the synergy that y'all have, like I mentioned, it's the representation of your presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Representing yourself and presenting yourself in that amazing fashion, which you both do. I look at it from a stance like this, and you mentioned the fetish side of things, and we talk about how everything is so unique, everything is such a variety, and it's a plethora, if you will. There are so many people out there with so many different fetishes and niches and the uniqueness that people have within their preferences. How awesome is it to see? Because some people may not even realize things are a fetish. Like burping has become such a very popular fetish. Mm-hmm. Many of those things. Like how awesome is it to see just how many actual fetishes are out there?
It's mind blowing. Like you can't keep up. I can't keep up. It's like I'll even go a while and forgot that I used to perform this fetish because of the other things that I could get into. But I mean, it's every day I learn something new. I always find something new that's been fetishized. Um, that's all I can really say. Like even thinking about it, you've got like a cast fetish, you've got the lifting fetishes, sneezing. From head to toe, it can be fetishized. I don't know. The hair is fetishized.
I like your style. I think you said it absolutely beautifully there. I mean, I'll take everybody back. I'll make a pop culture reference here. Like when True Life MTV had the episode of True Life I Want to Be a Dominatrix, and they explored and they dove into actually what it is to do the dominatrix stuff and everything that goes into it. It's a
Mhm.
learning experience. It's adapting, but what's also very cool about it too, as well, is it's become a focal point because we mentioned wrestling like back in the day, like backyard wrestling was like the thing. Of course, they had video games, but the backyard wrestling underground was really into it, much like Sessions is now. So
Yeah,
you're learning different aspects, and I think you can concur with me. Much like life in itself, you never stop learning.
right. That's why I love it so much too, because I love to learn. I will pick up a book, read an article or something like every day it's something new. Like you different people you work with, and it's just a revolving door for me. I guess you could say.
No, I feel
It'll
you.
keep going around and around. I'm not getting out of this for me.
No, I feel you 100%. I think we always talk about do what you love and write what you feel. It's one of those things. It's evoking emotions. It's eliciting reactions. That's really what this art form is. And I mean,
Mhm.
to add on to your point as well, my goodness gracious. I mean, if you look at Kendra on social media, goddess 6'1". Like I got to say this, and I say this with the utmost sincerity and respect about you, Miss Kendra. The statuette side of things, everything. I mean, we can see an image of you modeling in front of just like with a water, anything. It's that right imagery. It's that right lens. You know how to take a great photo, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. I've been definitely working on that for years.
You're very welcome. But that's the modeling side that goes into it. I mean, we'll make another wrestling reference. Look at Trish Stratus. And we mentioned her earlier. Like, she goes from doing like modeling contests and doing everything that we see with her, and she's just
Mhm.
in tremendous shape to wrestling. It's how you adapt to it, but also at the same time, the transition, not only is it hard, but it's great to really transition and really become multifaceted, you know?
It's like a switch. I've got a lot of people who like watch me like film or something, and they're like, Kendra, you literally go from here to there. It's like a switch. Like the transition is so seamless too. In some people, it's how many people do you have inside you type questions. It's yeah, the transition is crazy, but I mean, compartmentalization works if you know how to do that.
No, I completely feel you, and I think with you too, and I put this in the utmost sincerity and respect, and you of all the ladies with Sessions Wrestling. Shout out to Jennifer Thomas, Infamous Sports Entertainment has a great
Mhm.
group of women, much like yourself,
Mhm.
really showing up and showing out. She does great events. I mean, let's talk about Jenny here because the Sessions Wrestling entertainment industry and how she was such a pioneer for people like yourself and many people in it. It's great to see how much that's really blowing up over the years too.
Definitely. And I mean, yes, kudos to Jen for putting that out there for us and, making it even as bigger than what it was. But the first time what I had seen her in person it was in Las Vegas for that last session girls event she had. Yeah, the infamous one. And
Yep.
so like hearing the story and seeing everything and how people were receiving her, it's just like, wow, this she is the pioneer for us. You know what I mean? And I'm just grateful. I mean, I actually get to be in this space with strong, beautiful women of all sorts. It's just like, yeah, I don't ever want to leave.
That's the thing too. And first of all, we want to see you keep staying because of what you're doing is absolutely golden, my friend. And you still keep applying your craft in amazing fashion. And I mean, I look at it from a stance like this, Kendra. I mean, even if you look at WWE now, and we mentioned storytelling and how really this storytelling art that really goes into Sessions and the fetish side of things, storytelling is key in anything. It's the
Hmm.
subtleties, the intricacies, and nuances. But I think it also in today's WWE product, kids talk about it now at the cinema and how we have storytelling. Like, isn't it great to see, and you being a WWE fan as well, just how really evolved now since Triple H has taken the pencil, so to speak, of like who's getting pushed and how we have the bloodline over the last few years. It's a
Hmm.
great time to be a WWE fan.
It's a great time. And then, especially since we're getting streaming now, we got live streaming for Monday Night Raw. Like, that's beautiful. But nah, when you felt the shift when Triple H took over. Like, as soon as it was just like, okay, well, yeah, I've got all creative control. This is kind of what I've been wanting to happen anyway. I mean, yeah, the best time for us WWE fans. I mean, to instead of it's just you're throwing people in our face. Yes, the storylines are being built, and then you got the side storylines, and then you've got, yeah, can't say enough.
I'm right there with you. And I think I even say this even when I do the wrestling shows on the channel here. It's great to see, like, for instance, like what they're doing with Roman, Seth, and Punk. If you give me a triple threat match, I'm here for it. If you give me Roman versus Seth, I'm here for it. If you give me versus Roman versus Punk, you don't know what direction that they're going in. And also the Jey Uso storyline, like when he goes against Gunther again, like, oh, give me it. Like yeet. People love the yeet, man.
Yeah, exactly. I went to a Monday Night Raw recently, and that yeet reaction is very, very real. Like, what is it? What did they timed it? Was it like 7 minutes or something?
7 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, all 7 minutes. I mean, you might put your head down. I mean, your hand down to kind of calm down, but other than that, you're just eating the whole time.
That's when this gets over, like just doing this.
Yeah.
It's fun, like we're both doing here, but also at the same time, we now have the encore yeets because it's like the music will stop. It's like, all right, let's run this back one more time. Like we got encore yeets now. It works. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and then for Triple H to allow that to happen, because I kind of feel like he is giving his wrestlers a lot more creative freedom in their own right. You know what I mean? So that's why it's just like to see him allowing that to happen so they can engage with the fans even more is just even more beautiful. Because I mean, you really weren't seeing that kind of crowd participation. You were seeing it, but not like that. You know what I mean?
No, I think in the previous regime, and I will say this as being a wrestling fan for over 20 plus years. I mean, you notice where the focal point, we mentioned the women, how we mostly had bra and panties matches and bikini contests. And then later on, we focus more with the women's wrestling and still beautiful ladies nowadays. I mean, my God, Rhea Ripley is probably one of the most dominant and badass women ever. Oh,
Jade too. Jade Cargill too. She is like, I love her. From her physicality, her just, she's so attractive. She's got the best, like she's got this sweet smile, and it's just like, bro. And then just to see her run through people the way that she does, and then Rhea just slam people the way that she does. It's just like, yeah, I liked how they less sexualization for the women wrestlers. I do enjoy that, you know, because I want to see more of the technical side of things. Because I was an athlete, I mean, still am. You know, I like people in their element. I don't want you to just be cute out there flopping all over the place and stuff. I just want to see you pick up somebody. I want to see you, you know what I'm saying, choke slam somebody.
I concur with you on that too. And I've always believed this. I mean, when we talk about internal and external beauty and strength, I mean, there's more layers to beauty than just the physical side of things. I mean, when you look at Jade Cargill, who's a perfection, like you mentioned, in her own right, the woman can kick ass, she can take names, but she's beautiful all in all. Like I first saw her, I mean, AEW, when she first came out and interrupted Cody Rhodes back during the pandemic era. It's like, whoa, who's this woman? And then she has the TBS title run, and now her and Bianca were the tag champs. Like, it's great to see just her involvement. So I got to ask you now, since you've been following the story, who do you think did it? Was it Bianca or Naomi? Who do you think took her out?
I don't want to believe either one of them did it. Come on. Like, I mean, the black women, the representation that they're putting on, I don't want them to go against each other. You know, it's like of course you didn't want to see the bloodline, you know, crashing against each other, but it's inevitable. It's supposed to happen. Makes great stories, but I honestly kind of want to say Naomi.
I'm right there with you, and I think
Naomi did it.
I think my theory too, as well, is because if you remember before the walkout in 2022, her and Sasha were the tag champs, and now here she is with Bianca, the tag champ. So she's having a belt that she once held before she walked out, and then you know, so there's many different ways that you could go with it. Like we're manifesting it, but yeah, I know it's gonna be really.
I mean, Bianca could have had another tag team partner, but it was Naomi. Hey, yeah, that's a little suspect. So I think it was her. As much as I don't want it to be either one of them. It's like, no, I want somebody else who just wanted to sabotage for whatever. Like it could be Liv. Let it be Liv. You know what I mean? Like it's just something so mundane like that, like whatever. But yeah, I honestly think Naomi did it.
I feel you. Okay, well that's the best part of WrestleMania week. Like it's going to be really good to see once we get to there.
Right. I feel like, I don't know, Triple H kind of opened the doors for I think he's taken a lot of fan input in, honestly. Because there's some things that are happening. It's like, wait, how did he know that? how did you know that? You know what I mean? So it's like, I think he's letting his fans have a lot more involvement, and you actually see said involvement. And so, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm right there with you. It reminds me of, and I'll give even more of a shout out to Shawn Michaels and what he's done with the NXT brand, and how we're seeing a lot of transition now with NXT and main roster, and the NXT TNA relationship is awesome.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
there's so many great things, like stuff that we would have never seen within the previous regime. So it works out a lot for a lot of up and coming talents and the talents that are involved as well.
Right. It gives them hope, especially. I mean, I love that. It's like, I mean, what the G League for the NBA. I mean, you're here for a reason. So,
Oh yeah, and I will say this because you did bring up your athletic ability. I will say this, man: skills that kills. Replace the S, put in the Z. Let's talk about this, man. Just because that definitely does show within your wrestling ability. Let's talk about like the sports. Let's talk about some of your favorite sports here. Like, what kind of gravitated you number one towards the sports side of things, and what are some of the favorite ones that you've done so far? Because my God, you see a lot of different elements with how you perform within your work. My goodness, Kendra Allure, with your powerful gains, man.
um, I was a tomboy growing up. So whenever it came to anything active outside, I'm there. Um, my mom even she tried to teach me boxing whenever I was like really young. I can't tell you how young. I don't remember. I just remember her trying, and in the same time trying to teach me how to fix a car. So it was like I was always around sports. I'm watching it, being in it. Like I said, being outside. Favorite basketball. I played basketball since that's the first sport I remember. You know what I mean? Like my mom played. Um, Favorite player all time was Shaq. Like my mom coached me too, so basketball was my number one favorite sport. I ran track. I ran track. I didn't, throw. Although people said I should have thrown, I ran track. Um, Played volleyball. I enjoy it. But other than that, like my favorites are basketball, football, track, gymnastics. I love watching the gymnastics. I used to want to be a gymnast too, but then I was just too tall. Couldn't do it. But yeah, I've just always gravitated toward it. Being a tomboy, I wasn't into the girly stuff, pink. I wasn't dolls. It was just I want to go outside or I want to be on the computer. That's all I ever wanted to do. So I just stuck.
I like your style, number one. And number two, you have a lot of you have a Grata Lake sports there that a lot of people love. And I mean, when you think of basketball in the WNBA, I mean, I even look at Lisa Leslie back in the days with the Los Angeles Sparks. And I mean, you look at what you get in track and so many different avenues that really paved the way for so many great players. And Shaq, who doesn't love Shaq Diesel, because him and Kobe, like 1 and 2, everything that Shaq did. Hell, he could even be a rapping genie if you want to take it back to Kazam and be a rap artist that he is. Shaq is the man. I put that to the forefront.
He is the man. He's been my favorite big man outside of. I can't tell you. I don't really watch the NBA like talking about nowadays, but yeah, when Shaq was playing, I was there. Kobe there, but my favorite big man, you couldn't tell me anything else about a big man. Like I even try to play like him.
Well, I will say this about Shaq. So I gotta put this into the forefront. This will actually tie into wrestling. How is it that we never got Shaq in the Big Show at WrestleMania number one, but we did get him in AEW? We did get him in AEW against.
That, I don't know, because I feel like that would have been such a good look. I mean, aren't they about the same height?
Yeah, about almost 7 foot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I never understood that, but yeah, I always used to think about them two standing in the ring, like just eye to eye, like how that it would be just the craziest thing ever.
Agreed. And I will say this for those that remember Shaq's appearance in AEW with him and Jay Cargill against Cody Rhodes in Red Velvet, and Cody splashing him through that table, like Shaq taking a big bump like that. That's Shaq Diesel. That's Shaq Zilla right there, man.
Right. Now, honestly, was it really a big bump? Because it's him. It's him.
I know, but it was still very impressive. I will say that. But no, I'm right there with you on Shaq because I was a basketball kid as well. Like I loved, and my mom got me into it because as a New Yorker, New York Knicks, the Knickerbockers, Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, Marcus Camby, like everybody, Patrick Ewing, like that particular time period in the New York Knicks, like that was it. And I was also a big Shaq and Kobe fan as well. Like you couldn't tell me anything wrong. Or even Vince Carter like during his thing in the Toronto Raptors and the slam dunk contest. My goodness.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember watching that. Those were the good dunk days.
I'm
Good
right there
dunk
with you.
days. I would really go sit back and watch old dunk contests and stuff because this stuff I'm looking at now, I'm like, okay. This is see what they were doing back in the day.
Yeah, I've come to that point too. Like, it's so funny. Like, I have an old NBA 2K3 for the PS2 back in the day with Sega Sports and everything. Like,
Wow.
I know, man. Like, I loved it just because they added the street ball element where you could play 2-on-2 in different
Yeah,
parts.
yeah. I remember that. I played it too.
Same. Like, you could give me NBA Ballers with Marbury on the cover or NBA Ballers Phenom with Chauncey Billups on the cover. Good times, man.
Yeah, great times. Fucking see, now I gotta find these vintage ass games. I plan on getting a PS2 at one of these anime conventions soon, so I'm gonna be doing everything.
Hey, I still have mine 20 plus years later. It's
Yeah,
Yep, I still have mine.
I gotta get one. I just have my 4 and 5. That's it.
You got to get on that. And it's so funny too. Like, also like with wrestling, and all right, I'll mix it with wrestling and basketball because I was, like we mentioned, the Ballers and the Ballers Phenom. Like, I love, and also what was great about it too is like the slam dunk contest they added later on in games. But Ballers Phenom gave it like, okay, you're going against Hot Sauce, and then you have to go against, you had Ludacris appear in the story mode. Like, you had an intense story mode where you could play in different tournaments. I'm like, can we bring that back, please?
That would be nice.
Right?
It would be nice, but probably not. It's
Probably.
like, I don't know. Everything's such a money grab in games. It's like, bro, there's really no substance in half of it. It's like, what is this for?
It's so funny because with like wrestling, like I'll play SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. And yes, I know it's 22 years later, but that is one of the best doggone video games ever. And I don't have a problem with the new ones, but it's like, why play a video game? And especially today, day and age with content creators, when it's like, the content creators are going to play like the whole freaking season mode on their YouTube channel so I can watch it. And so it's like, what's the point of buying a video game now?
I don't even do that. Like, I cannot stand that. Like, I'm gonna watch you play a game that I want to play when I can just play it myself.
Right? It's just like, it ruins the whole like continuity of like, I want to go buy this game, but you are on your channel playing the game.
Right. That's why I still have Elden Ring and I'm still playing it by myself. I might get like look up little things, but I'm not on people's YouTube watching all the time. Like I think I probably watched Let Me Solo Her. I don't know if you know this dude. His name Let Me Solo Her. So he beats the big boss by himself. No adornments or nothing. It's just him. And that's probably it. Only because I'm just like, wow, he can beat her without getting touched. But that's it. I'm not watching anything else.
No, it's like for me, like, all right, I'll throw everybody back to this one. Like when Def Jam Vendetta came out, and then you did Def Jam Fight for New York, and you mixed the rappers in there, like Ghostface Killah and all these great rappers in there just fighting in a ring, and the story mode and D-Rock and everybody in that, like, that was cool. I will say that was a nice little element of mixing the rap and also professional wrestling. That was a nice little flavor.
Well, I was thinking about that game the other day. I'm like, there was this game. I could never think of the name of it, and you just reminded me.
You're welcome.
You just reminded me.
But it was good. Like, again, having the influx of rap and pop culture, which was such a great subset. It still is with any form of music, and as well with what we have now. Like, come on, man. It's a nice little mix of pop culture. And we mentioned backyard wrestling. Like, that was a thing. The Insane Clown Posse in a video game, just backyard wrestling. It was a thing.
Yep. Yeah, you really got, like, memories floating through. I'm over here. Wait, did I play that game? Did I play the game? I can't remember that game.
There was a lot of great games, man. I mean, it's different.
Oh man, but nothing's that fun anymore.
No, it's like, all right, I'll throw it back to the music side of things. It's like, all right, like when we grew up on 90s Nickelodeon, right? We had all that, and somebody posted on YouTube because people post everything on YouTube now. I mean, it's since the test of time since YouTube started. But somebody put up like an all that performance of Drew Hill performing "Tell Me" from like, it was like 96, like early, all that. And I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. Because I remember as a child watching them perform "Tell Me" on all that. And then you had all these great, like that stuff like sticks, like the music, even we look at Drew Hill or Monica, Angel of Mine from
definitely the music sticks. I mean, if that was what the music that had substance to it, right. So yeah, that was definitely going to stick.
Well, it almost goes back to like kids nowadays, like, oh, well, how could they perform that in front of kids? I'm like, okay, you had record scratches to bleep out the cursing, or they switched it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like when you're in front of kids, you're not going to perform it like you're performing it on MTV in Cancun spring break.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like common sense.
It is because I mean Kendrick censored every word he did for his halftime show. Like kids watch it. Duh. You
Uh,
always had to make radio edits back
yep.
then.
First of all, this one bringing up the friggin' halftime show. My goodness gracious, Kendrick I loved it. I'm going to say right now, I did love it.
Yeah.
I highly enjoyed it. It was
I'm
very
a
great.
Kendrick fan. I've been a Kendrick fan since like Section 80. So I love Kendrick. You can't tell me anything bad about him. I'm sorry.
And I mean, I think why Drake always used to annoy me too, and I will say this because you can again, we talk about songs always playing on the radio or just in general. You know how many times I friggin' heard Hotline Bling and I just I hated it just because it's like how many times I hear we get it. You call her on the cell phone. Like,
Yeah.
can you fill up now, please?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Just like some of
that's
those
literally
songs.
what the song is. You used to call me on my cell phone. Okay.
Right. And it became people's ringtones. And it's like, oh God, no. No, yeah. I've enjoyed Drake's music. I can't gonna lie. I've used a lot of his stuff for captions on Instagram.
You're. I hear
But
you.
to
I
me,
hear you.
he
I hear
makes
you.
music for females and basically people who want to be a part of the culture but just don't know how to quite get in there. Like, I mean, all he raps about is money and women and how he's the greatest. It's like, okay, cool. What else can you rap about?
I'll give you a deep cut because I saw somebody posted on social media. I follow a lot of Twitter like nostalgia from like back in the 90s and 2000s. So Nostalgia God on Twitter, for those that are familiar with Nostalgia God, it's GAWD. They posted DMX from 2001, 2002, Who We Be. Like if you really listen to those lyrics and then you see that music video, because I remember when it debuted on TRL and 106 in Park, like
Yeah.
with Free and AJ back in the day. Like I'm taking it back, but like when he's sitting in the jail and you actually listen to that song, it's deep. It's
Yeah.
like really, really deep, and it tells
Yeah.
a story.
Yeah, DMX was one of the ones that would actually tell a nice story. I mean, you had what Tupac, you had Biggie.
Yep.
I mean, Outkast would tell stories. Who else was like really, really good at stories? I mean, there were so many.
There were, and I mean, like,
But they're like, oh no, it's just loud rap, and no, these people actually are telling a story. It's like country music, but faster.
yes, I like that. I like that analogy. I like that analogy.
Okay. Country music has all kind of meanings, but you don't hear people bashing it. It's
Right.
the same thing with rap.
I'm like, okay, like look at country. Like, how many times am I going to hear about the pickup truck? Like that. But it's meaning to it, and it goes to like a love song. And I guess no pickup truck, but it is. You can say the same image or the same kind of influx and same kind of cliche lines, but there's a story to him in that doggone pickup truck. God dang it. Like that makes sense. Oh, I'll give you another one. Eve. Like, here's the thing. When I was 7 in 99, right? So Eve came out with Love Is Blind with Faith Evans, which
Oh my God, that song there.
that song takes everybody back. But then when you're listening to as adult, you're like, oh my God. Because if you literally listen to that song and you hear what it's about, it's heavy.
Mm-hmm. Very heavy. I think I remember, I don't even remember where I was or how old when I heard it, but the video, I remember seeing the music video to that. And that's when I was like, oh, because I mean, I was in that message, I was kind of around that stuff, like with my mom and all that, but I kind of got it. But then it's like, yeah, seeing it now, I'm like, oh shit, I kind of did miss that point, but I got it, you know, like,
yep,
very informative, very great song. Because I mean, what even Tupac with "Bird Got a Baby," that in and of itself, that was what abortion and
yep.
teen pregnancy and stuff like that. It's like it's always been out there.
I will up you on that. Miss Brenda's Got a Baby because I like your style here. We're gonna up it to 98 when him and the Outlaws did Baby Don't Cry. We Keep Your Head Up part 2.
Yeah.
Yep, that's another one that focuses on a lot of real life stuff
That's
too.
another one that tugs at the heartstrings. I mean, no lie, Tupac is like still dead or alive, my favorite rapper of all time. Like I can listen to his stuff from sun up to sundown. So then comes Kendrick. But yeah, a lot of Tupac stuff it was actually really very heavily message driven. Even he had a lot of songs that was about ass and this, that, and the third. But he was willing to put a lot of people on to some stuff.
I equate it to like early Tupac when they're like, yes, he could talk about Tupacalypse now, don't stop for hoes I get around, but he could also talk about keep your head up, ooh child, things are gonna get easier. Like
Yep.
that music, like it's multifaceted, and also you could flip the switch. Like you could talk about different things.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there's only so many people talented enough to be able to articulate real life into something, that'll make you bob your head or whatever. So,
Oh, of course. It's like, and I'll mention Trick Daddy because his songs are in commercials now. Like when I first heard Take It to the House, like that is literally just like that beat and everything. Like I could tell you where I was listening to TRL and when he came out with What's Up, Shut Up, and Sugar and all those songs. Like,
yeah.
yeah, like that's like the message right there. And I mean, I look at it from a stance too now, and I will say this. So I don't know if you saw it, and I know all the stuff with Diddy now, but I gotta say, for those who've not seen The Fall of Diddy, which was on ID, it was a docu-series. There's like 4
I didn't
episodes.
see that one. I didn't see any of them yet.
Jesus. Like just when you get to the assistant one, I will say this, folks. Oh, it goes deep. You got to watch it. I will say that. You definitely got to watch it. It's very interesting. He points out a lot, and it says a lot.
Okay. I'll look out for that.
It does. And I mean, like we said, I think he's a piece of shit, to be completely honest with you. But he did give us Biggie. He gave us 112 Craig Mack. So I will say that's a plus. That is.
What do you mean? Honestly,
Yeah.
He gave us those people,
He
but
did.
who else did he take away? Because he took away a lot of people.
This is true. This is very
A lot of
true.
people like may have seen a little bit of the limelight, and he snatched it from them, and or probably had them unalived. So it's like, yeah, he gave us greats, but didn't he take some people out too?
I will add. See, first of all, I like how you also bring that point around because the other way I would go with it, it's like when Biggie first came on to Bad Boy, and Craig Mack, of course, had Flavor in Your Ear. Like, did we ever see a sophomore Craig Mack album? No. Like after Flavor in Your Ear, that was like it.
I mean, yeah, back then there were a lot of one-hit wonders, you know what I mean? But with Diddy around, it kind of became like inevitable. You really weren't going to see much of anything.
No, and I mean, even if you look at Mace, like Mace had Feel So Good off the Harlem World album. Like after that, really nothing. Do I even dare to mention Making the Band too? Like that whole season, everybody just talks about him walking for 6 hours to go get cheesecake. Like everybody just talks about that. Like, and it is what it is. But yeah,
he was a dick. He's a dick.
he was. But yeah, I will say anybody watch that documentary. But oof. And I will say this, something that is not a dick and something that is awesomeness. Let me get back to your work here for a second as well, because we hit on a lot of great topics here. But what also kind of has the influx with you, Miss Kendra Allure, like the face sitting has become really something that we've seen a lot within your content, as well as the lift and carries with your strong self in your own right, ma'am. Like those are two that really do as well stick up to me within your content and everything. What I love about the multifacetedness is you really do sink your teeth in everything too, and it shows within your content. Like we mentioned evoking emotions and eliciting reaction before, it really does hold up with what you do.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been I call myself a slash master.
Okay.
I do one thing and I do this and I do this. Like I'm an athlete, I'm a trainer, I'm a mentor, I'm a gamer. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm just good at a lot of different things. So I kind of just, why do I have to be stuck in one thing when it came to this line of work? When it's like, I mean, I'm strong. I could do a lot of the strength-based fetishes. I've got nice feet. I can do feet stuff. Big hands. I can do hand stuff. I can burp like a grown-ass man. Why would I not tap into that? It's just like, yeah. I can't remember what it was. It was just like, yeah, whenever you get into content creation, they're just like, oh, pick your niche. Pick what you'd be really, really good at. I couldn't do it. I don't like putting myself in a box. I don't like being confined to just one thing. I like exploring everything, I mean, who's to say I might like it? So it's just like, that's why I like being multifaceted. It allows me just to have more room and range to do whatever the hell I want.
Well, no, it's first of all, I like how you just put the blunt to see whatever the hell you want. I like that because it really is very apparent. Like creatively speaking, I mean, you don't want to be stifled. You know what I'm saying? You have to express yourself creatively. And I mean, you also look at it like this, like if I'm dipping my toe into like this or that or this, like I could talk pop culture, I could talk wrestling, I could talk music, much like yourself. You could do this and that within sports and just everything that overall is the art form and craft. But it's like, why stop at just one? Like you could put a lot of eggs into the basket, but if you have a lot to offer to the table, it shows your worth, number one, but also number two, it shows that you do bring a lot within yourself. So I mean, you're betting on yourself and you're also doing the old DIY, doing it yourself, which a lot of people can gravitate towards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try my best.
Yeah, that goes with everything. That goes with people in general. And I think what people can take away from today's forum is, besides the fact that this one's got nice hands and feet over there, let's just put this out into the forefront for a minute. We're going to put this out here because it's another one big of yours. Like foot fetishes is probably one of the number one in the categories of fetishes, man. Like I've seen a lot of those as well, man. You let the toes out, man. You do your thing on that front.
Yeah. It was actually, I never really liked my feet in the beginning. Like I always just thought they were just ugly and big, and then I don't like feet. Personally, I don't like feet. So I worked in a shoe store for like 10 plus years. So kind of seeing feet from in the South turned me off from that. Like there's no way I could put a foot to my face and not be like, I would tear up my face. Yeah, wait, what was I saying?
You were just saying like you don't like feet and you've been around it within the shoe store. So
yeah. So I mean, big, they're actually big, pretty, very soft, because all I did was wear socks and sneakers. If you can't tell, I got buku sneakers behind me. So yeah, used to never like them, and then finally was like, oh well, I guess they're kind of cute. You can suck on them. Go ahead, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Now I will I will say this: you do great work on that front as well. But also number two, I can see that with the arrangement. It's like if you go into like a Foot Locker, and I'll take everybody back. It's like when Nelly and the Saint Lunatics were stomping in their Air Force Ones. You know what I'm saying? Like you see a lot of the Foot Lockers and shoe stores in general. I can understand that mindset of like, all right, I don't like feet. I don't like this. How many times are we doing this at the shoe store? I get it. I understand that mindset. But yeah. It's a great aesthetic. It's an aesthetic much within the body in itself, but it's a great aesthetic and just everything that goes within the art form and what you're doing with content wise. So it works. It all comes kind of full circle, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what I say. And that's what I love too, and try to keep it with a lot of the things I do, is that they always kind of come back full circle. You know what I mean? Like with the wrestling, I always end up with my ass in your face. I got a big ass. I call myself the ass titan. Like there's a lot of ass fetish things I do. Yeah, with the feet, it's always going to come back with sneakers because that's my favorite fucking thing. So yeah, I'm a sneakerhead, a big sneakerhead. But yeah, I always try to make sure everything kind of ties into something that's really, really authentic to me, because I want to enjoy it as well. Like, yeah, we're in a session and I don't know, I'm trampling you, but I like stepping on people. So there, it's full circle. I enjoy it as well.
No, but I think that's really cool with the sneaker side of things, because as someone who does love him some Timbs and New Balances, and I remember Reeboks as a kid, my goodness gracious, like I'm much of a sneaker guy myself. It's comfortable, it's fitting, you don't have to do too much, but it's also it's nice.
Right.
Yeah, like sneakers are just the shit, to be completely and bluntly honest with you. I think we all can concur with that. But
yeah,
but it's like, you have your ass in the face, like you mentioned. That's the finishing, the Ass Titan, which, by the way, great name to be put it bluntly. I love the Ass Titan name. I gotta say, it's a marketing bonanza of just like these names, man. It's very creative. I like the monikers.
Yeah, I'm an anime head. All I do is watch anime. So with the Attack on Titans, I can't remember what happened. I don't remember how I came up with that damn name, but I did. It was just like, oh, I'm the Ass Titan. And I'm like, wait, it kind of actually sticks. I'm tall and I got a fat ass. So it worked.
Well, I think that's great, as well as I like to say it's the accoutrement. There's a word for everybody. It's the accoutrement that goes with everything.
Yeah.
The velocity factor. But also, I got to ask you, as far as the anime side of things, because here's the thing. A lot of people I've known as growing up on the East Side as well, like growing up in New York, I got to say right now, people used to bully the crap out of people like anime. I'm like, do y'all realize like how good storytelling in anime, you can really emotion yourself and get into it? Like, there's a lot of good anime out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hate on it.
Yeah, I remember like kids getting bullied for it, and I was always the one that would go to said kid and be like, "Don't worry about it. I watch anime too." Like I would always stick up for kids that got bullied in school. And then it's like I'm the bully now, which is funny. Yeah, growing up, you would always get made fun of, but to me, I'm just like, and so
Yeah.
y'all watch cartoons on Saturday mornings of, you got the Looney Tunes and
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Alvin and the Chipmunks and stuff like that. It's okay. Why can't I watch something in another language that has a little bit more emotional, invoking, things in it? But whatever. I just didn't give a shit. That's one thing about me too. Growing up, my mama, she even still to this day is surprised about how much I just let shit roll off my back. Like I got made fun of and stuff, but I was just like, oh, okay. And I would continue watching what the fuck I wanted to watch. So yeah.
I'm right there with you. First and foremost, that is a great attitude to have because you set yourself on the straight and narrow, number one, but also number two, it's like kick rocks, so to speak, but there's that mentality. That's how it is.
Yeah, basically.
That's how you have to look at it because people are, number one, are assholes, and number two, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, but you can even go quick to like Nickelodeon when they had Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can watch your Pokemons, your Digimons, and like we mentioned with cartoons, it's like I could watch Johnny Bravo, but you can't watch an anime. Like, come on now, like how stupid is that?
It's stupid. It's all animation. Like, leave it alone. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. It's like SpongeBob SquarePants has been a timeless classic since 1999. So you could watch a sponge, a starfish, a talking squirrel from Texas, a crab, and all these people underwater, which is funny and great. But God damn it, you watch some anime.
Oh my God, you're a weirdo. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's like you eat laundry pots, but I'm a weirdo for watching anime. Okay.
Oh my God. You see, that's why I love you, because let's put this into the forefront. People do the pod challenge and all this shit. Like, yet we're the weirdos. Like for me, I don't understand this generation. I don't get it. Like,
I don't either. And then when you look back at like whenever you were younger, it's like the shit that these people do nowadays is beyond dumb. Yeah. I mean, beyond dumb. No. It's like, okay, y'all were born without some of these brain cells. Like you weren't raised with any type of common sense to know not to put certain things in your mouth or do. I don't know. Social media has fucked up a lot of people's brains.
No, I'm right there with you. Perfectly said.
And No Child Left Behind fucked up a lot of people. So it's one or the other. And bro, it's Well, like what was that one thing? People were eating bath salts to get high.
Oh yeah, the bath salts. I remember that. Yeah.
Fuck the laundry pod. Like, yeah, it's like, bro, what? You seriously just, I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. What was that one you had mentioned to show?
Which one?
The one that did the episode on the dominatrix.
True Life, MTV
True Life. Yeah, like you have True Life. I'm an addict or I'm an alcoholic. Like people drink hand sanitizer if they can't drink alcohol or some shit like that. But it's like, I get it if you're trying to mask for another drug, but a laundry pod?
I don't get it.
What is that supposed to do for you?
I don't know.
Burping bubbles? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's the generation that we live in. It's all about it's all about the challenges and just doing stupid shit. It's like, all right, we're gonna go here since you're bringing up the pods here, and I like your style. Okay, we're gonna amplify this. So, to put it in the bluntest of terms, most of these streamers nowadays, it's just they go online and do stupid shit. Like, what are you actually learning and getting from that by watching these people just do dumb shit and drink dumb shit and do dumb shit and just say dumb shit? Like, right. What are you actually learning and gravitating towards? Nothing. Like with this platform, and I take pride in this as we all do in our works, it's about staying positively proactive and also gaining something from what you're seeing in a discussion or a conversation, not just blah and doing stupid shit on friggin' live stream for 5 hours just because you think it's cool.
Well, yeah, that, and I mean, they get the attention for being dumb. I mean, you're going to watch somebody be dumb. You're going to watch from afar. You're not really going to engage in it, but you're going to watch somebody being dumb. I can't lie. I've doom scrolled my ass off before watching people do dumb shit. And then I'm like, wait, what is this doing? Nothing. Why am I here? And it's just like, just because it's that thoughtless content that's easily digestible. It's like, but yeah, no. We've been programmed to be drones now. We just have to sit and scroll essentially. Exactly. No thought, nothing thought provoking. You're not supposed to think anymore.
Hey, and we've all done dumb shit. I remember when Toys R Us, R.I.P. Toys R Us, when I was at Toys R Us when I was a kid, and there was a skateboard in the middle of the aisle. And now, folks, this was a time when like Tony Hawk and Dave Mirra and the X Games and everything was really, really popular. So I got on a skateboard. I'm not gonna lie, I did not fall badly on my ass, but I took a spill because I thought I was hot shit. Like, let me get on this skateboard and do some Tony Hawk Underground in the middle of the Toys R Us aisle.
I would do too, go to toy stores and even Walmart and go play with the toys. I mean, there's just some random impulsive childlike shit, but I'm not finna cook food in the middle of a store while recording it just to elicit reactions.
Yeah, you know what it is too. All right, I'm gonna. You're bringing it up. You're bringing it out of me. Okay, it's like when people vlog in a grocery store. Like, why you got your camera out in the fucking grocery store? Like, like why?
Grocery shopping.
What's interesting about you grocery shopping? Like,
bro, if I wanted a day-to-day on your life, I'll be your GPS tracker. But I don't. For you to be vlogging every fucking thing, like, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, because I've done some little vlogging, but I can't do it all day, every day. Like, do you not like your life, or do you not like to be by yourself? You know what I mean? You have to broadcast every freaking thing. You can't just live your life for you type. I don't know. It's a whole thought thing I've got going on with that I'm working on. So
no, I think you brought up a great point of the fact it's like people don't live in the moment. Like I'm like, look at us. Like, we grew up without the social media. I mean, we had cameras, we had camera recorders, but we did not like document everything like these kids do nowadays. Like, we went outside and rode our bikes, or for me, like shooting hoops in the backyard, right? Like shooting hoops in the backyard. Like, we actually, like, that was some of our like great stuff. You come home from school, do your homework, go shoot some hoops. Like,
you knew what outside was. Like, you had friends outside. Like, you were breathing fresh air. You were scraping your knees. You know what I'm saying? You were running up and down the street. It's so pacified nowadays.
Some of the early stuff. Like, I remember, like, there was a kid I used to hang with. His name was Adam. Like, growing up, he was my neighbor across the street. Like, some days after school, like, you know, even before like homework and stuff, we just go over, we shoot some hoops at his crib and just like chill at the house, watch some TV. Like, stuff like this now is just like so like friggin' foregone to like this generation, because it's like, how is that fun? I'm like, you have no idea how fun it is. Just like being in that moment, like watching TV with your boys, DVDs. And I mean, now you have the Netflix and quote unquote chill, but it's just like, nobody really understands even the art of going out and buying a CD when you have the headphones and you're listening to sample the flipping album, like when you're in Circuit City or freaking people don't understand. Like, and nowadays it'd be like, oh, what's so cool about that? I'm like, you don't know how cool that is. Like, you're sampling a CD before you buy it. Do I want to buy The Writings on the Wall by Destiny's Child? Let me sample the album.
Right. So what's fun in that? It was process. It was thought provoking, and it was a process. That's what made it fun. Just there. That's what I tell people.
Absolutely. And I will say this before we do close this out, because Miss Kendra Allure, I will say this: I'd love to have you back for a round two. You are an amazing, amazing talent. Just an overall fun person. I'd love to have you back on for a round two.
Thank you. I'd enjoy it. I would love to.
All right, now. So before we close this out, if y'all have not checked out Goodness Gracious Ass Bodacious, the ass titan over here, the toes, and everything that goes with the voluptuosity factor and the body side of things.
Head to toe.
Head to toe, girl. All right, now. So where can we follow you, Miss Kendra Allure? Ladies first. It's not just a Queen Latifah song. Where can we follow you on the social media fronts? The floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Let's see. I have Instagram at Kendra Allure. I have Twitter, well, X, at Allure Kendra, and then pretty much my website, KendraAllure.com. Those are the only social medias I have. It's just X and Instagram. And I have a Reddit, but I'm barely on it. But it's Kendra Allure. Everything's Kendra Allure.
Simple and simplistic, and definitely follow Kendra on all forms of social media. And I will say this: I always love to ask this question because we all learn and we talk about adapting, growing as people in this thing that we call life. So, little pearls of wisdom before we close this out. What advice would you give to those youngins out there who, even talent now, that want to get into sessions wrestling, get into the fetish side of things as far as content creation? What advice would you give them, basically off what you've learned thus far and what you found
out? If you want to do it, do it. I mean, before you walk into it, make sure you understand what it could entail. Because, you know, you might have those people, oh, I don't want to do this because of my job or family, you know, whatever the case may be. Just walk into it knowing everything that you could possibly know, ask questions. But if you want to do it, do it. I mean, it's fun, engaging, you learn a lot, you meet a lot of different people, you know, you get to see a different side to life. But if you want to get into content creation, sessioning, just get up and do it, and make sure you know you're a little knowledgeable before walking into it. You're not going to know everything the first day, but you can get some good pointers from people like me. I'm great at mentoring.
Beautifully and eloquently said and blunt. And I will say this, adhere to those words by the lovely Miss Kendra Allure over here. I got to say, man, you're kind of like Nike. Just do it. That's pretty much what it is, man. You just do it.
You got to get up and do it. That's it. Nobody's going to do it for you.
Exactly.
You can't wait it to happen. You got to get up and do it.
Hell yes. And I will say this, when I think about shoes, and one other thing I'll mention, because we did mention shoes before, and I listened to it years later because I remember 1999, and I think y'all might know where I'm going with this. So Black, which was discovered by the late great Lisa Left Eye Lopez, y'all want to go and Bring It All to Me, the great Black song from 99. JC Chazé, who was on the track from NSYNC at the time, the infamous line, "Are you feeling my Timbs, my baggy jeans, and my thug appeal?" And later on, when I heard that in life, and I'm like, you know, when I think of thug appeal and just overall badassery, I think of JC Chazé and a Caesar haircut from NSYNC. It's tearing up my heart. Like, you know, like, here's the thing. I was 7 and 8 when that song came out because that song was very popular. That song is a great song. But damn it, like, years later, I'm like, JC Chazé, you know you doggone well do not have no thug appeal. You stop that right now.
Nothing, no thug in your body at all. Like, what? Lisa had more thug than him, and she was a pretty hardcore girl. Are you serious?
You know what's so funny about that? Like, I found out years later, that track, Black, Bring It All to Me with JC, that originally was supposed to have Justin on it. And I'm thinking to myself, can you imagine Justin Timberlake, like Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake, like singing Thug Appeal, like Justin Timberlake at the time, Squeaky Clean, so. Mickey Mouse Club, Justin Timberlake. Right,
I don't think so. That's like,
oh,
yeah, that's like Justin Bieber trying to rap. Like this, yeah, no. It's not working. It's not working.
All he needs is a beauty and a beat. Nicki Minaj. Anyway. I digress. So if y'all want to follow this fine channel, it's Mike Larkin 92 on the YouTube front. Subscribe, and you can see the On the Mike series with this amazing human being and so many great guests of all different facets of life. As I always say with this show, life is an art form. We are all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And as always, the mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Beauty straight, the dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Kendra Allure, the goddess herself, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we'll see y'all in the next episode.
Bye.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic, keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy, I can leave a